Hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys?
What's up? What's
Where's
up?
everyone been?
It's been a minute.
Mate, 2025. Like what? How has it
Let's
took
go.
till February to get this shit going?
I know.
Yeah. I think everyone listening is very much aware that we got to February to have our first water cooler because it was an absolute Niagara and tsunami of stuff coming our way in the first month. I think that January was like 67 days too long
Yeah,
this year.
feels like a decade. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you guys been doing?
I mean, this is legit because I have actually not spoke to you properly since December the 20th.
Yeah. Oh, the chat is already on fire. Mark,
Who's on it? Is this
Joseph is there. Linda, Roberta, Vicky. Hey,
Here we go.
oh, everyone. I think I must.
Joseph's there. He's cool. Like I mentor Joseph. He's a really nice guy. Good
Vicky, don't get too warm up because there have been some changes.
Yeah,
into the
Vicky.
flow.
We could actually talk about that, but really, I want to know about what the water cooler is all about, right, Martin? Like that.
Yeah. What is the water cooler all about? Well, the water cooler is all about the fundamental, simple concept that the water cooler is the place where everyone in the office gather organically and just chat shit.
Just
you
to
know?
kill time on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
mate. But
Yeah.
nine
And that's what we
times
wanted
out
to
of
have.
10 Yeah, 9 times
We
out of
wanted
10,
to
you
have.
meet somebody you don't know from a different floor, a different department, and you learn something new.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
water cooler is a LinkedIn live series where 3 brand strategies, one of them very handsome, the other 2 one not so handsome.
Me.
They meet each other, no slides, no rehearsed answers, no safe question. The twist is also that we keep our guests secret until the very last moment. And in the past and last year, which was our first year ever, we had a blast. We had people like Rory Sutherland, Martin Neumeyer, Chris Doe, David Acker, Simon Dixon, and among another incredible collection of huge names, small names, medium names, upcoming names, but all really amazing people and really expert in their field. And the goal is not just for theory's sake. It's to talk about branding, it's to talk about strategy, real decision, and the stuff that people only say in the close, confined, safe space.
Real life scenarios, right? Like this
Real
whole
life
premise started us talking to each other on a Friday afternoon during COVID, right? And we wanted to break that out and bring it to the world. So yeah, that's what we're about.
Today is a bit different, but before we go into that, everyone in the chat, let us know how was the beginning of your year from 0 to 10.
Come on, give us.
Not 0, 1 to 10.
I want some high nines. I want some. I've had a good month. Don't get me wrong, but it's been rough. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's that. Does that sit like 6, 7? Did I say that?
Is it 6, 7? 6 and 7. Ash?
Mate, my kids are driving me crazy with that shit.
The usual thing, ain't it? Like with older people, they get on trends really late.
I'm not saying I'm late. I just didn't. I had a month to think about this. Bro. We could have done this like 2 weeks ago. With on that though, we can then discuss about what kind of happened and why we are so late, right?
Yeah.
Because the guest.
Ash,
Go on.
Lots.
1 second. I want to see Ash's score. What's your score, Ash?
Come on, Ash.
This month has been. It started off as a 1, and now it's gone to 11.
Miroslav's like in 10.
Yeah.
Balls deep into Jan.
It's soggy in the Shire with Mark. We know that.
Yeah, always soggy in the Shire. Mind-boggling 7.
Nico Madbolin 7. I think I'm gonna do a 7 as well. I think there is. I'm not gonna lie to you. There has been a couple of situations where it went -10, and then a couple of situations when it went +10. So I think in the equal, I think we're all about 7. But guys, let's talk about today.
Yeah. So
the format is different.
Yeah. So on that, normally we keep the guests quiet, right? And this guest that we should have had on today is really playing hard to get. I mean, this guy's cancelled twice. So we know we're not shouting him out, but basically we're saying we had to react quite differently this week. But yeah, so we should have had Mark Ritson, and we are going to actually announce for the first time we had a guest, and he will be coming on in future. But this guy's playing hard to get. So literally lastminute.com, he dropped the bomb, and we had to find some other people. Luckily, Martin knows quite a lot of people, a lot more than me and Ash, don't you?
Quite a lot of good people, I would say.
Can I also just say, if Mark Ritson, if you're watching,
fuck you.
Not guaranteed to be a guest. Right, so we might be watching our hair or something.
Nah, he's in.
I was with Mark yesterday actually at the University of Nicosia with Kostas Markidis as well. They did 2 terrific sessions on strategy and marketing, and then I was on a panel with Mark. Honestly, he's a great guy. Exactly how you imagine him to be offline. He's exactly like that. But yeah, he did cancel. He had a big shareholder fuck up happening in London, so he got pulled into that. He's gonna come back on the show. But the good news for you guys is that we not only have one extra awesome super guest today. We not only have 2 awesome super secret guests today, but we have 3. We have a good 3 representation of CMOs in different industry, and we will talking about all the shit that is scaring you for 2026, because it did start quite scary as a year. What is going on into the market of the CMOs? What is going on with marketing? What are these very 3 smart people focusing on into the 2026 when it comes to their CMO roles? And we take it from there. And as always, please do stalk the chat here. Send us question. Tell us what is keeping you up at night, so maybe you can get something useful out of this conversation as well for you selfishly and personally. So shall we bring the guests on?
Let's wing this.
Let's wing it. The joy of doing a live show. Gala, welcome to the show. Surya, welcome to the show. And also, last one, Nadia, welcome to the show. Hey, guys.
Well done. Hi, guys. Come on, we need to hear you. Like, hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
Gala said, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Come on, man.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I like the energy. I like how you guys are doing it. I just recently started doing it like last year, but this is great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll ask you that in 45 minutes. See what you get.
Nadia, tell us a bit about you. What do you do? Where are you coming from? And yeah, let's go from there.
Show to the world.
I'd love to. I'm a marketing executive with more than 12 years of experience behind me from various industries. I started in the joint stock oil and gas industry, moved into media, and then last but not least, moved into tech, specifically fintech. I was working for a fintech payments company for the past 6 years. And then I actually went on maternity leave, and I'm currently still on my maternity leave. So currently I'm focusing on an 8-month-old baby. But previously I was all about payments and fintech and banks, neobanks, and everything that has to do with it.
Transaction.
And we'll get into that. I want to see what is harder, to manage a CEO and a CTO and a CFO, or a 8 months toddler.
I think I've got the answer for that, Martin. So stay tuned.
Surya, what about you, brother?
Well, I've always been in iGaming industry. I lived in Malta 7 years, and recently last year started my podcast. But I started my podcast because I was tired of AI slop on LinkedIn. I was wondering, what should I do to stand out? One of my mentors told me you should start a podcast, but I said, I have a huge fear of public speaking, and I didn't like the idea. But he pushed me so much that he told me, if you really want to be successful, you have to put your face out. There's no way around. And that's what. I started doing it. I approached Martin. I approached you. People that I knew, just so that I'll be comfortable. But then now I realized that I love creating podcasts more than marketing itself.
Mate, you're absolutely great, and always I'll give you a life-changing lesson. No matter how much you think you are shit, you will not be shittier than Wes. So it's all good.
I think that's the good thing about the podcast, especially if you have that feel of public speaking. You've got guests to bounce off.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's why I started it a long time ago, before we started this, and it is a game changer. It does help you loads.
It does.
Yeah, I realized, it's a hidden talent, because I realized that I love talking to people. I just didn't realize that I would love talking to people on camera. But once I started doing it, I find it this is one of my passions. Why didn't I do it all this life,
Awesome. Gala, what about you? Tell us who you are. Oh, I think Gala's having some issues with the
Yeah,
internet.
we're getting a few issues.
Yeah, let's just crack on, Martin. Let's just move forward.
Yeah. Okay. So, Nadia, what do you think? What do you see changing in 2026 when it comes to the CMO role? What do you think it's already slightly different from 2025, and what have you seen in the transition?
Well, I think obviously we can't talk about 2026 and what's changing and not touch on the topic of AI, because I do feel that it has kind of been very dominating during 2025 and has continued to be quite dominating in 2026. And I think just that will affect in many ways how we approach marketing strategies and how we approach team building and overall marketing in 2026 and the years to come, because I do feel that already we can see it affecting things like Google search and and how we kind of use the keywords there, and how just the whole environment of channels is changing. I read today that there's a social media already created for AI chatbots, that they're actually on it and they're communicating. So it's like Reddit, but for AI. Can you imagine it? Like, I don't think we could have thought of something like this, 3-4 years back. I remember talking about trends, and that's something that would have not crossed my mind. So I do think that that is a very dominating trend that will continue gaining momentum, and it's definitely going to be affecting on how we approach marketing and how we use these tools to amplify our work. But also, I think another trend that I don't think it's a new one. Again, I think it's one that began in 2025 and we're going to see it transition and grow even further in 2026, is just a more humane approach as a contrast to AI. Because we can already see that it's so important to keep bringing more user-generated content and keep bringing in more kind of quirkiness and humane kind of narrative into it. And if we look at everything that's been kind of really going viral, it's got that human quirkiness and kind of really smart human marketing involved in it. And I think that's another thing that we're going to see being amplified. And even we were discussing, Martin, just previously with you, the Pepsi ad. It's stuff like that. Because why does it work for us? Because the polar bear is so unique, and it's such a strong brand kind of impersonation thing. And for us, especially millennials, we remember all the ads with it, so it kind of hits home really, really hard. It's nostalgia. It's something that takes us all the way back and makes us experience things. So I think that's why in many ways that is going to be amplified even further in 2026. So those two things
it's interesting. It's interesting. Are you excited or scared by AI coming strong into marketing?
I'm not scared of AI. I'll explain why. I have this very good parallel from the world of payments, if I may. So whenever I used to give an example of the difference of markets and why it's so important to understand the payment landscape in different areas all around the world, I always use the example of two-factor authentication. So when you pay online in Europe, you get sent to a two-factor authentication box where you need to enter, a special code in order for the payment to go through. And if you don't get sent to that, the first thing you do is question yourself. You're like, oh my God, is this site okay? I'm not feeling secure. Why am I not being transferred to this additional step that's supposed to protect me? If you are in Brazil, though, it's the complete opposite. So when you're sent into a second step, people think that you're actually being scammed. So it's a very different mentality. And why is that? It's because it's something new for them. In Europe, we've had two-factor authentication for ages. So it's something that we deal with on a daily basis and we're fine with it. In Brazil, it's something that they're not known about. It's something completely new. They're scared of it. I'm not scared of AI because that's how I see AI as well. Yes, it's new. We've had new tools before. They might seem a little bit scary at first, but it's all about getting to know them and understanding how to use them and how to amplify them. And the moment we kind of sit down and do our homework and kind of learn the rules of the game, we will be able to leverage them and grow with them. So I don't think it's something you should fear from that perspective. I hope it makes sense.
No, Totally, it's interesting what you said. Yesterday, I was on this panel with Mark and Markidis, with Mark Ritson and Kostas Markidis, and obviously, I mean, they got invited, right? These two mega speakers. One is coming from Australia, the other one is coming from London, and obviously, the title of the talks. I think Kostas Markidis' talk was mostly focused on the strategy, and Mark Ritson was like marketing in the age of AI. And he had a very interesting, obviously very sharp and somewhat cynical view of it, which is absolutely on brand with his persona. And he's also partnering with really interesting company which is called Evidenza, which they are doing synthetic data for market research. And there was a lot of pushback on how data and customer research based on synthetic human can work in marketing, but they've done so many case studies, and they have 88% of accuracy, much faster than running customer research, focus groups and surveys, but also more scaringly, much more accurate as well. So all that part of spending 50, 100, $500,000 in market research that can give you skewed data because humans tend to lie in those situations, that has already been killed. That is already happening. There are these companies that based on a synthetic AI representation of your ideal customer group, they help you understand how your market proposition will work. And in real time, you can tweak, you can run it again until you have the perfect market proposition. And on top of that, there are also tools like the System 1 ad testing, where you can, before releasing an advertisement, you can test how well this advertisement will run. So it's a fictitious scenario that gives you close to perfect, accurate representation in terms of data or how things are going. And Mark went even furthermore, said that by 2030, most of the strategic part and the drafting of the brand and the marketing strategy will be done by AI. He's saying that we're going to get to that point. And the people that will suffer the most are the junior marketeers that are now in the market. So this is already happening. So the question for you guys is, if the marketing strategy gets automated, if the research gets automated, what do you guys think it's the role of the CMO, let's say from maybe not 2026 because these tools are still going, but what is the role of the CMO in 2030 going forward?
Building communities.
Why?
And adding humanity at the same time, because yes, you can automate strategy, you can automate data, but when it comes to brand and creativity, humans interact better with humans. And I think especially because there's so much automation happening around us, and especially because there's so much tech around us, having that drop of humanity is going to be super important. Again, riding back to nostalgia, riding back to kind of connecting people and connecting with emotions of people. I don't think AI is there and will ever be able to be there, because isn't that, again, I think this is getting very philosophical, but isn't that the moment, the big question where, tech begins and humanity begins and ends? We're going back to our robot over here.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think you're right. I think also is the old age kind of question, isn't it? How much of does data, including AI now, is about the past and not the future?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take us humans to connect the dots and actually see like what isn't there at the moment and design kind of marketing and strategies for the future ourselves. I don't know, what do you think?
But Ash, in that where human kind of assumption and gut comes in, which AI doesn't have, because your gut has to take a punt, right? And your gut's taking a punt on what could happen, not what has happened. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we lose kind of all that magic, because if we're just going to run off data, synthetic, human, or gathered, I guess as CMOs, we're going to probably see that as less risk, but less risk doesn't then get you differentiation in the, the audience that you need. Nadia?
And also, and also I think an important thing to say is that we as humans understand the gray area. I don't think AI and tech does. So we can, do things like bring a tonality or little different shades to things, to storytelling, and add those kind of subplots and subtext into our storytelling. AI is a little bit more black and white in that perspective. So,
and the thing is, on LinkedIn, I live on LinkedIn basically, and I see that the people are getting allergic to AI content because we're just used to seeing certain sentences and words. And what I did is in December, 1st of December, I stopped using AI completely, not even taking any assistance. And my engagement went 3x.
Wow.
Compared to AI-assisted text to just human writing. And even in human writing, I'm using as simple words as possible. I'm writing as I speak in conversational language. And people are relating to this more because innately, subconsciously, they feel this is written by Surya. This is no AI at all. So this is my personal understanding from December 1st or so. I've not used any AI. And I think the need for human written content will go up. Maybe companies and brands will pay for human written content in the future.
Yeah. I think it's bound to happen. Like I was at 2 trade shows this year, and both had a talk on the way that like the Google algorithm is going to change because it wants to promote authentic content and not AI written content. So I would highly be shocked if LinkedIn didn't have a similar algorithm in the works or is in play. Like I can vouch it. Even today, I did a joke post. I'd seen somebody post, write me a post on myself, and basically just dared chat to do it without even editing it. And I ran it today, right? And so I've not edited one bit. I've just linked the clients that it linked me to, and it's probably had 4 people like it, and that was it. And that could be, without having this conversation, I didn't even think about that, but that could have been that, that algorithm coming into play.
What's interesting as well is, whereas like you say, algorithms might be like now programmed to kind of look at the authentic, but also I think humans, we can see it from a mile off. What's interesting What's interesting as well is Stephen Bartlett did a test with some of his copy. He made sure that there were spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes in his post, just so that everyone knew that it wasn't AI. And basically, I don't know what the results were, but he just wanted to make sure that people knew that he wasn't using AI. And that says a lot, I think.
I said this before, like when the CGI movement came out, obviously in my corporate days, I worked in design, and we used render software to design jewelry and things like this. And I purposely used to tell my designers to make imperfections so it would look real. It's like so that this is a theme. This is happening. This is not like a scene we've seen before, right? We're bringing it to life again, and we're doing exactly the same thing. So I'm kind of glad my dyslexic, misspells, and I know I annoy people, but it's end of the day, it's authentic, right? It's me.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it's interesting. I think that this week I was doing a bit of research, right, on what's going on in the CMO and the AI space, and I ended up into this podcast, which I think is the Unfiltered CMO podcast. And they ran a survey with among the biggest CMOs out there in the world, but it was anonymous. And they asked, what is the CMO role in 2026, or what do you think where we're going, or what does CMO mean in these places? And two answers came stuck into me. One of the CMOs said that CMO is the chief meaning officer. Finding the meaning and the direction of the company and making sure that everyone is moving into that direction. And the other one was saying that the CMO in reality is the chief manipulation officer, right? So not only being able to do the strategy and the tactics, but also most importantly, manipulate people from a political perspective in order that everyone moves forward. Because I think that's where the angle is. Like if we read between the lines, okay, so AI is coming with the research, is coming with the data, is very good at creating accurate synthetic research, is very accurate to run 75 potential strategic direction instead of one that took 6 months to develop with a team of 50, right? So that stuff goes up quickly and is able to test. Yeah, but good fucking luck using AI, onboarding your CEO, your CTO, your CFO, and 5,000 employees into the strategic direction of the company. So I'm wondering if we're moving into a direction where, yes, the strategic and the activation could be commoditized and made simpler, more efficient by AI, but an AI tool cannot excite and onboard and manipulate and read in between the politics of an organization in order to make it happen.
Of course not. AI can't lead.
No. But I think what a trend that I think we're going to oversee if we're not careful is that AI is manipulating, use that word, behavior change. So like my behavior's actually changed. I actually got interviewed in Portugal at Web Summit last, and I was asked a simple question like, would you rather Google or would you rather use ChatGPT in this instance to research? And my go-to now, based off of like, rather than Googling it, I've started moving into ChatGPT to ask questions. So my behaviors start to change, right?
In what way? Oh, he's gone.
Me too. Like it's been almost a year that I only use Perplexity. I don't use Google. Like I don't use Google at all. It's been more than a year. Only Perplexity, because I don't think Perplexity and Google, we can't even compare Google with Perplexity. Because I ask a question and I get an answer in seconds. So there is no need for me to use Google anymore.
I feel so old, but I use Google. I'm not gonna lie, I still use Google.
You have to try Perplexity, and you're never going to go back to Google. This is it.
The browser is a different thing as well. Like they've got their own browsers which are even more efficient as well. So that's the thing. I was going to say we're bashing AI a lot in this conversation. All the good points, because AI might be listening to us and they might come back with revenge, like on us. So,
I heard something really interesting. Like all these big companies who are doing AGI and stuff, they're not aware how AI is learning and adapting at the end of how it is happening. It's just happening. And people or devs, they don't have idea how AI is creating itself.
Wes,
this
what
is a fact.
You're muted. No, it's interesting. So, how are you guys using it then? So, Manesh and Surya, you come obviously from the iGaming space. So, what's the word in the grapevine in the iGaming community now? Not necessarily just for AI, but like what are marketeers focusing and struggling the most in your industry?
Two things I see going up is collaborative marketing, like collaborating with other people to create marketing content. That has always been there, but I think I see it's going up and up, especially in iGaming. People kind of support each other. People kind of do interviews with each other. It's bringing people together. Or I don't know, starting a list of 100 people who joined the iGaming, how they joined it as a newsletter. So it's all people focused. That's one thing I'm seeing. The second is communities. People are building closed communities as a distribution channel, not only as a distribution channel, but also as a method to develop and improve and increase influence. For example, in my case, I started a WhatsApp community second week of December. Within less than 2 weeks, I had 200 people. Now I have 350 people in the WhatsApp community, and my engagement on LinkedIn has gone up. Not that I'm sharing my links in the community, but people just see me more of influence.
Yeah. So yeah, on that note, communities isn't a new thing, and you mentioned it also earlier on. How is it different in this day and age? Is it because it just has more of a positive impact because of all the AI and because of the noise? People just want to be closer within communities, and that's why they're more powerful?
Exactly. Because, I wouldn't say some things on my LinkedIn, but I would say those in the WhatsApp community, and it stays within those 350 people, right? So I think how we build communities is also very important. I've seen communities in iGaming. There's a lot of other groups for 2 years or more, but the thing is, they're very restrictive. They don't allow people to say what is on their mind. They are self-serving. They only promote themselves. So what I did is just opposite of it. I said this is going to be called iGaming Real Talk. There'll be no moderation. People can say whatever they want in their mind unless not directly hurting anyone. And there's no moderation. Like, you can say whatever you want. So that was the first thing that kind of helped it grow very fast. And the second thing is promotions are allowed. Promote yourself. Other communities don't allow promotions. So I took these 2 points and I just created a community because I was frustrated myself.
Yeah.
So, so I think the positioning is also important. We come back to branding and our brand strategy. So the way we position our community is also important, but communities is the way forward. And this is what's happening in iGaming when it comes to marketing, as I see.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think one of the pain points of payments and iGaming that they have in common is that there is a lot of cutthroating people as well. At any given event that you go into one of these, at any event that you go, there is so much artificial selling and pushing and dragging people over, and like affiliates and payment providers, they're everywhere, and there is a lot of overlap in what they're offering, and it's really, really tiring. But I think it's a very interesting concept, what you said, Surya, because also it takes me a bit back during COVID times as well, where obviously gathering together was not possible. So a lot of online communities were done. But then when it was again possible to gather together, a lot of people wanted to go back into real life event as well. It's in our human nature, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you wanna belong to people, and you wanna participate in those communities as well. I guess the challenge for you is to really protect that core positioning of the Real Talk, and just making sure that doesn't get diluted, because otherwise then it's gone, isn't it?
It's also very tough to maintain the Real Talk, because sometimes I talk too real and then people take it personal, because iGaming is also a performance industry. Everyone wants to perform. Everyone wants to do things for PR. But, I'm saying the truth and that's also pissing people off. But I don't want those people in the community anyway. They're free to leave. I tell them in the community, hi, if you don't subscribe to our ideology, you may leave anytime.
But that's fine. Like, you're building your own brand, right? So you don't
exactly.
Not everyone's your audience, so don't worry about that. If they don't like you, they go away. Like, just like, Mark Pollard or Mark Ritson or anyone. Like, if we find that abrasive, we just don't align to it. So I wouldn't stress about that. I want to throw in something to the mix, which is kind of come into my world quite a lot, especially being an owner in creative, and you guys being in marketing or I guess dealing with creative assets and things like this. So what about, like, hiring people for copy, hiring photographers, because they're in the chat, and it's even been in our domain this week, and somebody in this call has created their own AI platform that can do this. But, we've spoke about writing, but is AI imagery, like, making photographers redundant, or what? What do we think?
I can say that for my design team, when in my previous position, we did use AI, but they used it as a tool.
Yeah.
So I cannot see, at least today, AI replacing my design team and my designers on a level that they could produce the same level of end product.
But what about the photographer? That's the bit I'm getting to. Like, not the graphic, not the like the thinking, but like the photographer themselves.
Well, again, it's a very thin line, right? It depends what you want to see at the very end, and how much personal data you're willing to give to AI. And I'll give you another, like, out of life example. Sorry, new mum problems, but I had to take my baby to have a photo taken for her passport, her first passport. And as you can imagine, taking a photo of an 8-month-old baby.
I know.
Yeah, we've been there.
It's like many things. So coming back to your question, now I, as a mother, would not feel comfortable imprinting, like taking my baby's photos and putting it into AI at this stage. That I've taken the extra step, and me and my partner have agreed that we don't want to post and we want to make sure that she's not present on social media or anywhere until she is of age where she decides whether she wants it or not. And we've taken this as something that, you know, we've told all of our friends, please, this is how we do it. So I would not do that. I still need a real life photographer, and more than that, I need somebody who's professional. And we were very lucky. We went to a lovely photo studio where a lovely elderly gentleman who's been doing this for God knows how long literally got the perfect shot in like 2 minutes, just because he knew how to interact with the baby. He knew what to do to make her look the right way in the right direction. So for me, AI can't replace that.
No.
But I'm talking about a scenario like, you know, you've got a marketing budget for a certain project. I'm going to kind of angle the scenario I was in this week. And we're working on a new housing development, okay? And we're putting together a guide for the photographer to shoot the new builds. So we went all around the internet trying to find the perfect photography, the perfect style, and really we couldn't find it. And so it became to a point where I was asking the junior in our team, like, just use AI to create the fucking image, because we can't find this shit. And to try and hire a photographer to recreate that image, that's going to cost budget, time, weather dependent, fucking all of it. Especially this time of year, and this weather out here is gloomy as shit. So I want to put this to the chat, right? Give me a hands up or a thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, if we were forced, you know, if we had a scenario like that where we had to take photography of a building for a project, would that replace a photographer in that instance?
Can I offer can I offer a different opinion on this?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in the chat will hate me for it. I'm all for AI, guys. Like, if my agency can do a work of 10 people with 5 people, I'm gonna fucking tattoo AI in my face. I don't care. And I want to give you a bit of a context. Like, I come from an artist family, right? My great grandfather was a poet. My grandfather was an architect. My father is an architect. I graduated as an artist in printmaking. I was a graphic designer, a brand identity designer. I live and breathe art. I love this shit. I studied art when I was 11. Like, that's what I grew up. I went to a traditional art school, making paintings and studying history. So I appreciate all of that. But I'm wearing a business hat. That going back to Wes's point, why would I have 5 people spending a full week to do a mood board for photography? When can I have one person really smart, really good at doing AI and get that job done, right? On a business facade, it makes no sense. That's why I'm saying it's a gloom time for juniors, right? I get it. I think it's a gloom time for juniors that are getting into the position. But as an agency owner, like, I want to keep my client happy. I want to maximize my profit and increase efficiency. If AI helps me to do that and stay on brand, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but Martin, I agree with you. But I do think that we will still have both, because I think that there are cases and situations where we need it, where I agree with you. AI is the quicker, cheaper, better option. But then there's also other cases where you can't bring AI into it. And I mean, things like having photography at events, for example.
Yes.
You can't replace that. And you still want, even if you're doing community, let's say Surya decides to do an in-person live meetup for his community, I don't think the community members will want to see AI versions of themselves. You know, they photography from the event and kind of have that as a memory. It's these things. So I think that it can't replace photographers completely. I think that it will definitely minimize the market a little bit, but I don't think it will diminish it completely.
I agree. And I hope that photographer that goes to the event also uses AI to perhaps edit and speed up his workflow and spin up more photos, right? But also, one thing that I forgot to tell, guys, I see a lot of designers and creatives and copywriters and photographers being scared by AI because they want to protect their craft. Rightly so. But guys, the best people to use AI creatively is the creative, because one thing that AI does not have is taste. And one thing that it will be really hard to replicate is that. So us as creatives, we are the best prompters.
Yeah.
So, and we should be the one in control. Now, I think there's going to be a breakup point when people, creatives, fight AI so much. Then ultimately there's going to be a divide, right, between the creatives that embraced it and they leverage their workflow and their creative taste with the new technological advancement, and the other ones that fought it. So it's not black and white, and it never is.
I can add to that from my own personal experience, because this is what we used to do with my design team. Before, it would take them a lot of time. I'm not going to say how much, but a lot of time to create, let's say, a 3D image that we would use in a video. So we were very video format focused in our social media strategy.
Yeah.
And we used to do a lot of very complex 3D kind of modular videos. And it would take them from anything like 1 week to 2 weeks of 3 people working on that one small video, because it was all drawn and, put together by hand. The moment we started incorporating AI, that got, boom, shorter, quicker, faster, because we would generate the actual 3D image and then the guys would just add the animation on top. And sometimes even AI would help to animate some of these things, and they just need to kind of edit it and clear the edges. So in that perspective, Martin, I 100% agree that designers and artists should be using AI, because it just helps bring their vision and their creativity to life quicker and faster and cheaper, essentially, as well.
Yeah, I think.
There is a really interesting question that I want to get later. Sorry, go on, Ash.
Yeah,
no, I was going to say, I think you touched on this, Martin, as well. I think there's a real kind of old school thought of being reluctant to use AI and discouraging younger people to do it. But I think that's a mistake. I think what you said, Nadia, you're absolutely right. The creative, the talented people, they're going to jumpstart their life. It's going to be even more of a superpower when they use it, because
it's amazing for scamps. Like, you can scamp an idea now.
Yeah.
Look at this, boom, done. Like,
Yeah, and I think this is it. And these are the people that are going to kind of stand out of this, or stand. We talked about AI slop earlier on. Like, these people, the creative people, the talented people, they're going to use AI, and they're going to be seen. Like they're going to stand out from the AI slop, I think.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
You saw, Martin.
Go on, Surya. If you have something, go on. But then
Just
I have
to
a question
add,
that I absolutely love.
Yeah, just to add to what Nadia said, that we also do. I mean, I create a lot of content. I work with editors. They started using AI to generate AI versions of the guests that are moving in the teasers. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if this will resonate with the guests, because I send the videos to guests before I put them out. And then I send it to the guest. She's very big. She's well accomplished. She sold her company to one of the biggest iGaming companies in US. She loved it. She's like, "Wow, this looks like me." Okay, how did you do it? It's brilliant. I was like, "Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, we'll keep it." So it was very surprising for me that these guys, the editors, they are able to create these versions, and then we are able to actually B-roll footage within these teasers. So that's one thing. But on the other side, we have Riverside. I use Riverside for recording.
Yes.
And I can do a lot of editing myself with AI in it. And I ask my editors, hey, can you also edit in Riverside? Because your job is already 50% done. And can you charge me like half of what you're charging? and they are like so reluctant. They are like, no, we don't want to use Riverside. You send us the files. Yeah, I'm like, but AI is already doing 50% of the job. Like, I can do 50%. Can you do the rest of the 50% and charge me 50%? No.
I had the same
think there
issue
is
with my
something
podcast.
going on here It's like I am sure something's going to happen here because they are reluctant to use AI because they want to protect their like traditional way of doing things. But something's going to change in this area, I feel.
I mean, good fucking luck with this. It's like promoting the electricity, and people come to you and they keep selling candles. I mean, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick for a while, but the electricity is there to happen. You know, it's one of those revolutions. I love what you said, Surya, because I had the same fight with one of our suppliers for the podcast as well. But doing reels, we need to watch the full episode and understand what works. But use Opus Clip. Opus Clip understands the whole episode and creates the reels automatically. Oh no, but then I said, no, okay, I'll do it myself, right? So I think there is a big friction. But guys, there is a very juicy question, and I want to hear each one of you. Wes, you need to go in a bit, so I want to hear from you, and then we go all of us.
Hit me first.
Do we think that Da Vinci would have messed with AI? What a lovely question.
No, that was Ian, man, killing it. I think the follow up, like, I think if it's a creative input, I think of course he would, and it would have fucking smashed it. Like,
yeah,
I think definitely like taking shit to the next level would have been right there.
Nadia?
Oh, 100%. Look, let's talk about who Da Vinci is. I mean, it's a man who was a forward thinker, a dreamer, a person who was creating something new and breaking boundaries back then. Of course, he would dabble into it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the guys was fucking stealing corpses to do anatomical experiments. Like, I mean, he was butchering dead people on his kitchen to learn how to draw and how to do better. Do you think that he will not have start prompting? I think he will have been on it.
And I'd go a step further as well. He would be using it differently to how everyone else would be using it.
Yes.
Great question, guys. Oh, loved it. Okay, so guys, 2026, 3 things that you would focus on as a CMO. Bye, Wes. Love you, buddy.
See you later, guys. Bye.
3 things that you will focus on AI wise, not AI wise, for this year. What will be the first 3 things you would do if you get hired in your industry in a new company?
Wow.
Hire B2B influencers on LinkedIn. I'm already getting requests for these from companies. This is definitely something that I would do. I just got hired by a company as a consultant, fractional CMO. So I'm going to do it for the company. And the second is obviously podcasts. Sponsoring podcasts is quite underutilized media space as an alternative to PR, traditional PR. I don't think anyone reads PR anymore. It's just the headlines, right? So maybe some backlinks, but where are these backlinks and views going? No one knows if it's useful. So I think advertising as a sponsor in podcasts and the media spaces is going to go up. It's completely underutilized, underpriced attention at the moment. Third, obviously, is building communities and building podcasts for the brand. So these are like my 3 things.
You're very content and community driven in terms of activation. Yeah, makes sense. Nadia?
I would agree on community. I think that community is a very, very, very important factor, no matter the industry, but especially in the B2B industry. Because I think that when you're working B2C, the audience is super wide. And obviously then you have to take it on a very different level and very different channels because of the wideness of the audience. But when you're working with B2B, it's a little bit more niche. And I think that business and B2B and, the big deals, they get closed on a more kind of personal factor in a more personal space. I don't see big B2B deals being closed at, like expos or things like that. They get closed on more private events and community-focused events on the networking parts. That's where you make the deals. So I think for sure, community is something that I would prioritize if I was stepping into things now.
I would agree. Mm-hmm.
But also, I think for me personally, because I come from a space where, just like you said, Martin, there's a lot of noise. And there's a lot of repetitive noise. And with the entrance of AI, it got even more repetitive. I think that I would definitely invest in creative branding.
Amen.
Because for me, I feel it's so important in the B2B sector. I feel that there's just so much similarity in the brands in the business space that we see today. They're all the same. And I've been preaching this, Martin, for so many years, that you need to be different and you need to take risks. And I think that if I was stepping into a role right now, that's what I would focus on, taking risks and pushing the boundaries of branding and just kind of really, really experimenting with adding more humanity to the brand and kind of more quirkiness to it as well.
Yeah, I think you both offer some terrific answers, and I think me and you, Nadia, talked about this many times, but and we can go in that a bit deeper, because I think it's really painful to see how many B2B brands are obsessed about the wrong fucking thing. There is guys, the reality is that 99%
Martin,
of B2B brands gone.
Yeah, I want to interrupt here, because iGaming, especially, as you know, as you have been exploring,
both of you, this industry,
branding. They don't care about branding. I've been preaching, I've been advocating, I've been complaining on LinkedIn about how important is brand, as much as you are for the traditional industries. And the fact of the matter is that I realize that they don't care. They want to spend 100K on a stand, but they don't want to focus on brand foundations. And so what I realize is it's an uphill battle for me. So I'm not fighting that battle in iGaming. I'm like, okay, you want to do branding? Great. You don't want to do branding? Fine. I want to work with people who understand the importance of branding and marketing. I don't want to convince them into branding, That's the place I am right now after continuously advocating for it for like 2 years.
But you know what really annoys me even more, Surya, is that they're willing to spend so much money on things that brings no results. There's no return of investment, and they're pushing campaigns, billboards, things like that, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of euros, and you know that they're not going to deliver. And if
it's because they don't see the return instantly. Anything long term, they don't want,
But also,
that's the issue.
Spend a part of that on sitting down and investing in that brand, and then the storytelling behind it, and building the campaigns from the brand narrative, and not just, from what I'm thinking at the moment right now, the results would be so different. And we see it every single day, that brands that invest into their branding, that invest into their storytelling, that invest into the foundation of who they are and their ID and identification, they are the brands that become, the viral ones. They're the ones that stand out. Again, going back to the beautiful ad that we talked about at the beginning between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Pepsi and Coca-Cola are those brands because of their brand identity.
It's just sugary water, really, isn't it? I mean, that is the same.
Other sugary waters that have not achieved that.
Why do you think they are so much in each of your industries that you're experienced in? Why are they so reluctant to invest in that long term, when deep down most probably they know that it's right, when they hear kind of arguments for it? What is it?
I think it's I don't want to sound like that person, but I think it's just
please sound like that person.
I think it's who's at the top, and I just think it's it's the old ways. It's the old ways of how it was done. And you've got these big guys who have been at the top for a very long time, and when they began ages ago, this worked. This was enough. Throw some money at it and it's going to fly. Throw some money at those ads and they're going to target. Throw some money there and it's going to be fine. The problem is they haven't had the reality check yet, and they haven't realized that, hello, times changed, audience has changed, channels changed, everything's changed. You cannot take what worked 30, 40 years ago and still be doing it today. And you cannot ignore brand. Because in today's world, unlike in the past, branding is everything. Brand identity is everything. You can't just go back and copy what your competitor is doing. It worked back when there was like 5 competitors. There's 500 of them now, and they're all copying each other.
And they're all doing the same shit.
Exactly. That's why it stopped working, because they're all going in there and being like, because I can tell you, most of the CEOs and most of the managers there, that's how they do it. They come back to you and they're like, oh, I want what he's doing. Just copy what they're doing.
So
doing that as well. And then they just end up copying each other, and it's the same bloody copy on all websites, on all promotional materials. It's the same bloody thing.
You know what, guys? I think the fact that we get so much noise about AI that we forgot that marketing fundamentals haven't changed, guys. Like the four P's of marketing are still very important: product, price, place, and promotion, right? The problem that you're describing, Nadia, which is a very true one, and I think there are a few others in that these people understand promotion, which is about 8 to 9% of developing a brand. They understand promotion because these CEOs see a busy dashboard when $1 goes in, $1.50 comes out, and they get it. But that is such a tiny fraction of the brand building journey. We also know other two fundamental things that did not change, will not change, and they will always be true and will always be true. 95% of the consumer you're talking to, they do not have a need to buy your product today. Only 5% of them have, meaning that 95% it's your long-term customer on which you need to spend most of your time in order to generate a future revenue, a future sales. Only 5% of people will buy something from you today. It's like buying a car. You buy a car every 10 years, but when you buy the car, you have 3 brands that you want. And connected to that, also the spending percentage did not change. 60% of your budget should be spent on brand building and brand awareness and top of the funnel activation to create that positioning long term. 40% should be spent into selling today. And these are fundamentals that the big people and the award-winning marketeers have been telling us for a really long time. Why are we losing our fundamentals? Because these things did not change. But you're absolutely right, Nadia. Like they are focusing on the wrong stuff. They are focusing on being busy today on this sugar rush of short-term metrics, where the brand value, we know it's long-term.
Yeah.
And I think
that's where the focus is.
It's important to note as well, it's not so binary. It's not one or the other, right? I'm sure we all agree that it should be both. That it should be a healthy balance of both.
Exactly. Long and short.
Yeah. Nadia, I know you have to run on the hour, so we're coming close to the hour. Is there anything that you want to leave us with?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me and for...
Thank you for covering Mark Ritson's hall. You bastard.
No, but honestly, it's a lovely change for me because obviously I haven't done some public speaking in some while since I've had my baby. So it's nice to be back in the field and to have that chat about everything that I love, which is marketing and branding. I think that I'll just leave us with, in my opinion, humanity will win. Because it prevails no matter what happens and no matter how many AI tools we implement. But I just wish to see 2026 bring more creativity. I want to see more awesome, great ads like we saw coming out now. We've got the Super Bowl ads that have just gotten, live. We've seen the Claude and ChatGPT battle it out in their ads, which I loved. I thought it was just perfect creativity in that spectre. So I want to see more of that. It's a good beginning. Let's hope that it grows further and further from on, and that we meet up in a year's time and we say that, yeah, it's been an awesome creative year and human interactions have prevailed. So yeah, thank you.
Nadia and Surya, before you close, and then we go to Surya as well. I need to ask the question that Wes always asks. Nadia, what do you sing? What do you sing in the shower?
Ooh, Taylor Swift.
Any specific one?
I'm a Swiftie. I'm a Swiftie, and I always say this when people are like, "Oh my God, that's so cliche." No, I'm a Swiftie because I think she's a genius marketeer. And her marketeers are geniuses as well. And if there's anybody
it's hard to argue that.
Right. If there's anybody who's doing human-focused, creative
community
right now, it's Taylor Swift. I mean, come on.
Good answer.
She just came out with her new video, Opalite, today. And if you watch it, it just hits all the things we talked about. Nostalgia, done. Human quirkiness, done. Smart marketing, done. Smart promotion, done. Just literally open it like a marketeer's textbook. So for me, Taylor Swift,
Smart.
any of her song or album, I'm bowling it out in the shower as hard as I can, to the despair of my poor husband, who is not.
Oh, now we know that you guys shower together. There you go. We'll leave you with that. Surya, what about you? What do you want to see in 2026, and what do you sing in the shower?
Sing in the shower, counting stars. It's been on my shower list for a long time. Sometimes Avicii, The Nights as well. That's a song that I really love, and I have done a lot of adventures in my life just because of that song, because of
amazing.
Avicii, and yeah. Now 2026, I'm going to a lot of events because that's what works in iGaming. People believe that events is everything, and also the
Shaking
other
hands.
thing. Yeah. The other thing is they don't believe in branding because they believe in referrals. They believe that brand doesn't really matter because if they know enough people that can introduce clients to them, they're fine with it. And the other thing with iGaming industry is that the nature of the industry, a lot of brands don't want to build a brand, sorry. Because of the nature of the industry, because they want to be hidden and do the deals under the table with referrals. But this is the nature of industry. Last year, I was fighting a lot with why things are the way they were, but this year I'm not. I'm accepting what the industry is and then supporting them with it.
You need to speak that language, yeah.
That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to 10 events this year, in-person events. I'm going to be doing 20 interviews in each of the events as part of the podcast channel.
Bravo.
So that's what I'm focusing on. And again, for me, the media and the podcast is a way to give my clients a space to advertise. I've always been very clear from the beginning that I'm not here to become an influencer, but I'm here to provide a media space to my clients and prospects.
Amazing. Nadia, bye. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Well, Ash, shall we land it?
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much for joining us very late in the day because of our dropout. But what I will say is, I really enjoyed this conversation. Lots to talk about, and I think we could go on, carry on. So I would love to have you guys back on individually on another episode in the future. So let's make that happen if you're up for it. Surya, you're the only one left.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was I was thinking you were saying this to the audience, but well, I mean, I really enjoyed it. To be honest, this is my first live conversation. I never did live before.
You did really well. It looks like you've done it all your life, mate. Anyway,
so thanks for inviting me. Yeah,
pleasure. Thank you very much for being with us. Have a lovely weekend.
You too, guys. Speak soon.
Ciao.
Take care.
Ciao.
Oh, look like we dropped people at the regular cadence, right? Gala couldn't figure out the Wi-Fi poor thing. She was on my messages. She was shut.
The chat was on fire.
Very good. Yeah, great chat today. Great questions, guys. You really helped us wing this episode out of zero into something really good. So thank you very much for being on the chat, guys, and thank you very much for helping us.
I'm looking at right now, so I'm going to have to go back to the feed and like.
There are some great comments.
Yeah, connect with us, everyone. If you're not connected with us, and then come back again as well. We're around every 2 weeks. We do keep the guest secret, so but we'll always have brilliant voices on the talk. So
you know what you get. You don't know who you get.
Yeah, but thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. Lots of love. Happy weekend. Go get it.